What's up guys, today we want to show you the new work of our sculptor Anton. He made an ancient stylized sword, so let's go! Let me give you a couple of announcements before we start. So we finally published our new course where you can learn how to make stylized PBR textures. We also have Patreon, and by the way, this video is much longer on our Patreon and you can find more useful materials there. And also, please join our community in Discord. This one's for free. You can share your works there and get feedbacks on them for free. So go and check it out. So, as you can see here, the more details we add, the more artistic this sword is starting to look like. But once again, don't forget about the rest areas. For example, you see that we have this pretty complex swirl here, but inside of the swirl is a smooth stone with no details on it. Contrast between different levels of detailization, that is what rest areas are. Just imagine how we would perceive this work if every surface of it was covered with details. It would be pretty messy. I already told you today that if one organic object goes into another organic object, we should inflate a bit the junction between these two objects to give more life into our work. Notice how Anton draws bevel using H-polish brush. Even your bevel should vary in its shape. Almost everything in your work should look dynamic. He also masks out some parts to break the initial shape a bit, and don't forget to get rid of the blurriness by sharpening the edges. Here you can notice that Anton uses a tool called Thick Skin. Thick skin can also be used to establish a specific plateau for sculpting, making it possible to create scales and other features with consistent height or depth. Thick skin works well on low polygon models with dynamic subdivision as well as high polygon models. All sculpting brushes are compatible and many different effects can be achieved by simply changing the alpha. Detail can be added in a free and natural manner, and these added details can also be removed and smoothed back to the original mesh with quick, flat strokes. When thick skin is used with the drag rectangle stroke, alphas can be applied to a specific depth, an ideal way to add regular patterns, scales, and bumps. Note that when adding a new subdivision level, it will be necessary to toggle the thick skin button off and then on again, so that thickness can be calculated for the new level. Until this has been done, the thickness slider will be disabled for the new level. The thickness slider controls the amount of thickness used when the thick skin mode is activated. Each subtool can be set to the same thickness, or each subtool can have its own thickness level. Setting can be adjusted anytime during the sculpting period. When using Z sub or holding Alt to carve into a mesh, the thickness will be calculated inwards from the original mesh surface. Making these transitions sharper is very necessary, because if you don't do it, well, then your model will just look unfinished. Use DAM standard to sharpen the base of the bevel and H polish to give this bevel an overall sharper look. Go around the whole model and draw over all of your details once again, because the longer you work on it, the sharper this shape will look like.
sleep, losing time.
Another nice technique of how you can add additional details to your work is creating your own alpha. In ZBrush, alphas are one very useful way to sculpt some details into your models. We can even create alphas from any photograph, any image. So here we need to take a plane, turn off the subdivide smooth modifier and subdivide it a couple of times. we see that we have now 66,000 of active points. Then we start making our alpha by masking a circle. Some imperfections are totally fine. Then we will go over to the move brush and slightly pull this in. By the way, you can pull out stuff using the move tool. If you press the Alt key and drag, you will drag the geometry towards your camera, which can be very handy from time to time. Now we will add a second level of complexity to the wood to give it such a look like it was used and it was bitten by bugs or any other insect that you might know. It brings more of woody feeling to it, and when it's baked and used into texture, it adds some nice occlusion and curvature information, so that's really cool to have.
So I waited a minute. I waited a few minutes. And then the next thing I know, I was walking on clouds. They were beautiful clouds. And my girlfriend was talking to me while I was walking on the clouds. Everything felt beautiful. I almost felt like I didn't have any feet. No floor under me. It's beautiful. We looked at each other's eyes on top of these clouds. And we were talking with each other, but our mouths weren't open. Then all of a sudden, she let me go. But I didn't fall. I floated. But I was farther away from her. Until the next thing I know, she wasn't there. I was by myself. I was on grass again. But it was very soft grass. I walked through the grass, and everything seemed beautiful. I was one with nature until I saw another. But it wasn't my girlfriend, it was somebody else. She was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how it happened. I don't even remember walking to her. But next thing I know, we were playing tongue hockey. I was kissing her, like really deep. And it was beautiful. My girlfriend was nowhere around and I didn't even care. It was the most beautiful experience of my life. And I never saw that girl again. And I never took a mushroom again. It was a mushroom. I was walking
Here you can see that it has been decided that this sword is overloaded with details, so Anton erases half of them. He erases featureless details and enhances big ones, so the model doesn't look noisy.
A lot of requests for comments, generally doing interviews and etc. about what people should wear and what people should do, and how people should carry on, how people should carry on. A lot of requests for people should wear and what people should do and how people should carry on. How people should carry on.
Thank you very much for watching, and I want to remind you again that we finally published our new course where you can learn how to make stylized PBR textures. You can also join our Patreon, and please join our community in Discord. This one's for free. You can share your works there and get feedbacks on them for free. So see you next time. Bye.